And she says, since you can tell that story, I want to tell you a story. And she said how when she was 7 years old, she was in second grade, and she was in a little organization called the Brownies, which is a precursor to the Girl Scouts. You wear a brown dress, little brown hat, you get these little merit badges. And she said, one day I had a stomach ache, and my mom kept me home from school. And we had this heating pad. It must have been in the 1960s. And this heating pad had this vibrating function. And she put me face down on this heating pad on my stomach. And I fell asleep. And while I was asleep, this vibrating, warm heating pad must have slid down between my legs. She says, because I woke up with the most amazing feeling. A feeling like I'd never felt before. Oh my God, it felt so good. And so, next time it was my turn to host the Brownies, I said, Brownies, you've got to try this heating pad. And she says, all the Brownies, they turned the heating pad on, the vibrating heating pad, and they rode it like a pony all afternoon. And she said, it was like Sex in the City for 7-year-old girls. They could not get enough of this heating pad. And they were all riding this heating pad, and they had a great time. And she said, and for the first time in my life, I was the most popular girl in my class. And I was the girl that all the girls wanted to play with. And for every Brownie troop meeting, it was at my house. And I was the leader. Until the day that my mother came home from work early. And she caught us with a heating pad. And she sent the other Brownies home. And she whipped the cord out of the wall. She just ripped it out of the socket. And she started to beat me with it. And she beat me with that cord. And she beat me. And she said, you fucking piece of shit. You dirty whore. What kind of a fucking whore am I raising? You whore. And she beat me and she beat me. And she says, this woman who's my age now, she says, I have not had an orgasm since I was 7 years old. And then she goes, but if you can tell that swimming pool story about how you got hurt, jacking off underwater, she says, I can tell my heating pad story. And I can tell that story until I can make it funny. And then maybe someday I can go back to my mom and I can say, do you remember that heating pad we used to have? And it'll be complete.
Holy shit.
And so, see, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create the opening for people to tell these stories that they never thought that they could tell. Because that's the way in which they're going to resolve these stories. And they're going to master these stories.
We have these bidet toilet things that have a little button on the wall. You press it, it shoots hot water up your ass. And my kids come over. And they love these toilets. I have 2 daughters. And my youngest, when she was 7, she would sit on the toilet and she was laughing and giggling. And we didn't tell her there's anything wrong with it. So she was telling us how much she loves it, how much she loves the hot water when it shoots onto her butt. She's like, it feels so good. And there was no shame in it. And there was this weird moment where I'm like, am I supposed to react to this? Am I supposed to say, yeah, I know, I like it too? Am I supposed to say, hey, don't do that too much? Am I supposed to say, don't tell anybody you like that? You can like it, but don't tell anybody you like it. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I didn't do anything. I just let her smile, and she walked out of the bathroom laughing like it was great. And there was no issue. But it was this moment where I was like, wow, if I was a religious person or a suppressive person or some person with some sexual issues, this could be a real problem for this little girl. Instead, I was like, okay, let's get out of the bathroom now. I guess you're done. All righty. And she has no idea that this was even like a moment of, crisis in my mind where I was like, okay, how do I handle this? I'm in the bathroom with my 7-year-old daughter. She's getting water shot up her ass, and she's enjoying it.
So you talk about it on the radio? Is that how you deal with it?
I enjoy it too.
Sure.
I enjoy it too. We all do. We talk about these toilets. They're amazing. It's warm water. It shoots in your. It's great. It feels awesome. But it's not supposed to feel awesome for like a little girl for some reason, right?
See, you